All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. Man, this is a birdie fest.
It's a Philly show, baby.
Let's go.
That's right. Welcome into Swing It and Ding It. This is Moose along with Mays and Matthews, and our next guest. We've been trying to get this guy to come on for quite some time. Of course, he waits until his Commanders beat the backup Philadelphia Eagles to decide to actually come on. Denny McCarthy, welcome to Swing It and Ding It, man.
How are you? Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to talking all things, maybe a little football in there.
Yeah, we'll throw it in.
No basketball.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing season for my Commanders, but always nice to beat Philly, regardless of what players they played or didn't play. It's okay.
That's right. That's right. Now you got a little taste of Philly, and we'll talk more Philly later in the show. But we saw you in person on the putting green at Philadelphia Cricket Club for the Truist. Let's start there for our audience. What'd you think of that event? I know that kind of came up a little quick as far as massive signature events go. But what were your impressions on Philly Cricket Club and Philly golf in general?
Yeah, I really liked that place the first round, and then I didn't like it so much the rest of the week. No, I thought that course was great. Tillinghast design reminds me of a lot of Baltimore Country Club. It's a place that it's probably my top 2 or 3 in Maryland, if not my favorite golf course in Maryland, Baltimore Country Club. So a lot of similarities, a lot of just like different holes, like just a really fun golf course to play. Made you think. The wind switched around a little bit, so it's just a lot of interesting holes where you can hit a lot of clubs off certain tees, especially when the wind switched around. And it's nice when we can play different venues like that, especially like you mentioned on short notice. I'd say typically that would be like an advantage, like picking apart a brand new golf course. That's something that I think managing my golf game, how to work your way around a golf course is something that suits me well. It suited me well for the first round. I actually didn't really feel like I played that bad rounds 2 through 4. The weather kind of got yucky in the second and third round, and but what a treat to play a place like that. I wish we could. It sounds like we might play. Yeah, we're going back to Philly and Aronimink. It's been I have played there, but it's been a while. But it sounds like we're gonna go. It seems like the direction, maybe the way the tour is moving, is to play in some of these bigger cities, some of these really cool venues. Coming forward. So I look forward to playing some more cool places like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I've got to set the bar for the listeners. Usually Moose does a whole elite intro, but he was just so excited to talk Philly golf with you. But let's just talk a little bit about, Denny, your 2025 campaign, ranked 4th on the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting, which honestly feels low for you.
Yeah,
bad year.
In your final 5 starts of the season, you were averaging nearly a full stroke gained on the field per round with just your putter. Consistency, this is where I think is the silly part. You had 10 top 25 finishes and made 21 of 23 cuts. So I guess when you put it like Denny, it's kind of easy. And then let's just add one more stat in there for fun. T8 at the 2025 PGA Championship at Quail being your best career major finish yet. So did I miss anything or?
No, I was 20. I was 21 for 21 of cuts made in the United States of America, and so my two missed cuts were the Scottish and British. It's funny. I think that golf will suit me at some point because I just like to be creative. It's funny how I haven't quite figured it out over there the last few years. I've struggled in the British Open and the Genesis Scottish Open, but I'll figure it out one day.
Just makes you more likable, a true American.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to pounce. The PGA was some of the better golf I played this year. It's funny. I've played some of my best golf on really hard golf courses. Quail Hollow used to be like, I can't play this place type of place, 5 years ago or so. And I've gotten a lot better since then. And like the last 3 years, I've finished top 10 there the last 3 years after not even sniffing making the cut before. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say Quail Hollow like suits my game. Like everyone says, like that golf course is made for bombers and like set up for Rory, and which it kind of is. And I've kind of just snuck my way into top tens there the last 3 years. And then like Torrey Pines, I took it off the last 5 years, basically. Like it doesn't really suit putting, I would say. It suits somebody that's a very consistent ball striker. It's cold, it's damp. The ball doesn't go very far, the rough's up. And so I remember playing it in like 2020, and I left there. Like I felt like I played pretty good that week and finished 40th or 50th. I'm like, yeah, I'm good on this place. I'm never coming back here. And then with the fires last year in LA, the Genesis got moved to Torrey, and that was like my best tournament of the year. Had a chance to win coming. Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, so I added Farmers to the schedule this year after playing Torrey. I like San Diego a lot, and I do like Torrey Pines, but it didn't seem like it suited me. But after being there last year and playing really well, I found a newfound appreciation for it, and it's back on the schedule this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're playing well on some big boy golf courses, like you just mentioned, Quail and Torrey Pines. But is there a golf course on tour, or are there some courses where you're just like, man, I can't wait to get there because that really suits my game?
Yeah, I think first one of the year, Sony is a golf course that it's not super long. A lot of kind of plotting point A to point B and managing your game, and Bermuda grass and windy conditions, firm windy conditions. And that's kind of what, I live here in South Florida, Jupiter, Florida. And that's kind of what you see a lot around here is, that Bermuda grass, heavy crosswinds or into the wind, and having to kind of shape your ball and, control your flight. And I feel like I do those things pretty well. And so I'd say Sony's typically, I haven't had, I played solid there last year. I wouldn't say I've had a ton of success there, but courses like that, Hilton Head, TPC Sawgrass. I love TPC Sawgrass. That's probably my favorite Pete Dye golf course. So courses where you don't necessarily need to hit it, very far, but precision, accuracy off the tee, short game putting around the greens, ties into, you got to do a little bit of everything at some of these places that I mentioned. So, yeah, I'd say more of those places, but I've had probably more success at the giant, the big ballpark, the long hitter golf courses. I don't know why that is. I think it's pretty funny that is the case kind of currently over the last couple of years. But I feel like my game, when I'm playing well, it can travel, and I can play well at any kind of place.
Well, Denny, let's bring it back a little bit. We talk a lot about the golf journey on this show, about how you got started. Obviously, you grew up in the Maryland area, two-time Maryland amateur winner, three-time Maryland Open winner. Obviously, go on to UVA, two-time All-American. We know golf was in the family with your dad and your uncle. Just talk about your upbringing and how, you obviously played other sports. We always hear about your basketball and your shooting, and we see it. We see those social media videos, you just draining three-pointers. But just talk about how, you started out, and then once you kind of knew, all right, it's golf and I'm going for it.
Yeah. I mean, I played everything as a kid, and everything like outside. Some people have asked me lately, like, oh, do you ever play that video game, greatest video game? I'm terrible at video games. Like, I'm awful at video games. I like to be the person doing those things like live outside. So I was always outside, played a stint of soccer, but I was mainly, basketball, baseball, golf. But played all those. I played tennis for a while growing up, like love tennis, love ping pong. All those little things I think really helped, like develop,
Hand-eye
athleticism, all that stuff, the touch, the feel. If you do this to something like just ping pong, you do this, what's the ball going to do? You do this, what's the ball going to do? And, anything like kind of reactionary, hand-eye, quick movement, react to something, react to a target, react to something, is stuff that I like loved doing. And so it's what, like, I shoot hoops, like I miss a shot. You don't like second guess, like you're like, oh man, maybe my elbow. Like, no, you just like you get it and you shoot again, and like subconsciously you self correct. And it's like all those things where they're so reactionary. Like golf, we have the most time to think about things, and it's like I try and sometimes I catch myself trying to be too perfect, and that's not who I am. Like as a golfer, as an athlete, as a like that's just not who I am. I'm somebody who's like I see curving it off this tree, like starting it at that tree branch and finishing it on that other tree, or like very picturesque, like creative. I'd say that's more who I am as a golfer. Even like shooting hoops in my backyard, like where, like I said, I live in Florida, it gets a little windy. And so like I play the wind on my shots. It's crazy. It's actually a lot of fun. So like if the wind's like in off the left, I'm like trying to shoot it a little harder and like a little more like flighted at like the back left corner of the rim, and like let the wind like hit it and drift it over. And it's like stuff like that to me is a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Just trying to get back to that like that play like childhood nature of just like having fun
Feel,
and playing. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I love that analogy of like, you're right. You throw a free throw and you're like, you miss it. You're not standing there like, okay, like, did I do this? You just, like you said, self-adjust and go again. That's
right.
A great analogy. If only it was that simple for all of us.
Aim point for basketball.
Free throws.
I think it's like important to note, like I played all these things and like my first year ever playing golf year round was like my first year of college. So like I always put the clubs down for a long period of time.
Right.
Basketball, I played basketball all the way through high school, wouldn't touch the clubs for 4 or 5 months. And then like really excited to get back into golf once it was come springtime, come golf season, really excited to get, back into golf. And then like once like fall rolled around, like, the fall golf is obviously great up in the Northeast. And then like, all right, it's starting to get cold. Like I'm good on golf now. Like I don't really want to play golf anymore. Perfect. Basketball season's about to start up. So it was always something to look forward to, like kind of changing seasons, playing a new sport. And it was definitely an adjustment my first year of college. I remember kind of losing my mind my first year of college. Like, it's a fall and spring sport. So like in the winter, I was like kind of lost. I was like, man, I guess I'm supposed to play golf and practice and like work out and do all these things. And then like I felt like burnout going into the spring. It just felt weird. I remember not playing great my first year at UVA in the spring. I still had like a pretty good year, but I just didn't feel right. Like I was I felt burnout.
Yeah.
I just didn't want, but so I think just, and even now I find those times and opportunities to like take breaks. If I'm feeling tired, my body's telling me to rest. If I don't really want to go out to the golf course, like I'll take a couple of days off. I don't mind that. And then like once I'm refreshed and energized, I'm like, okay, I took a couple of days off. I'm excited to get back out to the golf course today.
Yeah.
And then like that, my work and practice and playing like becomes way more efficient, and I'm way more into it with my head. So yeah.
Sounds like you have it all figured out. Well, you kind of talked about just being an all-around athlete growing up, and everyone knows your golf game at least. You've built a reputation as one of the best putters on the PGA Tour. What would you say is the most underrated part of your game that people probably don't talk about enough?
That's a good question. I mean, I've become a way better driver of the ball and iron play, like overall. I wouldn't say the numbers necessarily show it a ton. It's still, if you look at my stats, like it's still strokes gained approach, was actually my best year this past year. I think I was around like 55, 60-ish. I don't know exactly. But that's a big jump. It's fine margins. It's, instead of like losing, 0.2, I gained 0.2. It's not much, but, I just feel way more comfortable and confident over, demanding shots on these hard golf courses. Like I used to be like I have a 6-iron in my hand, small target, trouble. Like I'm just going to blow it left to the green and trust my short game. And sometimes if I'm not, sometimes if I'm not feeling great about that, like I think I just understand where my game is at all times. I have a really good understanding of that week, my shot patterns. And so, if I have a 6-iron in my hand and there is a really demanding shot, I'll pick a very conservative target and try and make it like an aggressive committed swing to that conservative target that I've picked, instead of trying to pick like a really aggressive target and then like bail on that. I try and pick a conservative target, and I have a good idea of my shot pattern for that day or that week. And so I can live with, missing shots, like if I'm committed to it. What drives me nuts is like being so wishy-washy in my head and not committing to a shot and just doing something. Like, I'm more just mad at myself that I didn't. It's not like it wasn't the golf swing I made, it was just my thought process and how I kind of, the half a minute to a minute leading into the shot, how scattered my brain was, and then I like still didn't land on a shot shape or a picture. I like to call it like a picture. Like, I didn't have a good picture of the shot. And so yeah, I think part of the reason I don't hit it very far, so I think part of the reason I play some of these big plays as well is that I'm not very aggressive. I miss it in the right spots. I give myself a higher percentage chance of getting my ball up and down, whereas some people might try and be really aggressive from 180. There's some of these farther hitters that have only an 8-iron in their hand and they're aggressive and they short side it. I think a lot of these places, like my understanding of par and how the course is playing and how hard this shot is, I think my understanding and IQ is pretty high in terms of like judging, like, okay, this isn't really a birdie hole, it's not really a green light, this is a yellow or a red light. Like, let me just play it here conservative, and then when I get a pitching wedge or a sand wedge in my hand, that's when I have my green lights to go ahead and score.
Take us through your typical week of practice. Like, are you a big gym guy? Are you a guy that just likes to beat balls on the range, or do you rather go out and play, 9 holes? Like, what's your typical prep?
I think, once tournaments start, I think it just depends on what the course calls for. So, Sony is firm. Like, I've worked on like a kind of a go-to tee shot, a little lower. And then like a lot of, 120 to 160, a lot of like gap wedge, pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8, like all kind of scoring clubs in that range. And then like, okay, so I prepare for Sony of shots I think I'm going to have. Then you play Sony and you assess, okay, what did I do well this week? What did I do poorly? And you put a little extra time into that the following week for Amex. Okay, I need to, what's important at Amex? Okay, driving the ball, or maybe it's a 150 to 175 area that is more. So maybe throw in a couple more 6 and 7 irons in practice, and plus like, okay, what did I not do well? What did I not do well last week? What can I improve on this week? Spend more time on that this week. And it's also, you're coming from different grasses. So like Sony's Bermuda, Palm Springs, Rye, overseed. So whether you spend more time on the short game area, you're going from chipping from nasty into the green Bermuda to like overseed Rye, where it can come out a little hotter, fly on you a little bit more. So just getting comfortable with the grasses, getting comfortable with, okay, what do I need to do to get comfortable on this grass or surface? How can I prepare best from last week to this week? What does this week call for? More so than last week. I think it just depends, but I would say I like to play and hit more shots on the course, especially when I'm home. I'm definitely more of a get out there, get the ball below your feet, above your feet, uphill lie, downhill lie. Like I every now and then I'll have a range session that might last an hour and a half, max 2 hours. But I'm typically hitting balls for half hour, 45 minutes, getting my feel for the day. Like every range is flat. You hit four flat iron shots all day. Basically, it's the 4 par 3 tee boxes. So four of your hopefully like 65 shots of the day are on flat lies. So I like to. You can also kind of just groove it on the range, whatever wind direction you start. Like today, I hit balls and the wind was off the right, and I started to kind of like so they weren't over curving. I started like holding them up too much and blocking them a little bit. I'm like, I got to get off the range because I'm reacting too much to what the
To
wind's
now.
doing.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I got off. I mean, I had a TrackMan like wedge and short iron session, but like as I progressed like longer, I started to like leak stuff because I was worried that the wind was gonna. But I'm like, I gotta get off the range. I gotta go on the course, and so I like to kind of go around, hit shots in different winds. If I don't hit the shot that I want, maybe drop another ball from that area and find the feel that I'm kind of looking for. But I'd say I'm typically trying to get a feel for, work on a couple key things I'm trying to work on. Once I feel like I have a good feel for it, take it to the course.
Interesting. So I want to talk about a little bit about your goals for the year, but as a team sport player, right? Played basketball. You've had some experiences earlier in your career, junior Ryder Cup, world amateur team. How much of the, Ryder Cup, President Cup, things that come on team events, how much is that on your radar? And as you move into your career, how much do you kind of fill those into your goals and things you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I would love to do, be on a President's Cup and or a Ryder Cup team. Like you mentioned, I played, I've been on the Junior Ryder Cup team, Walker Cup team, and World Amateur team. All to represent your country, it's the greatest honor. And I wouldn't say it's something that I really thought about a ton up until a couple years ago. I was having a really good year in 2023. I was putting myself in contention, playing well at a lot of big places. Was kind of right there on 11th, 12th, 13th on the points standing for most of the year, and so definitely started thinking about it a little more. And I wouldn't say I played poorly because I still played some good golf towards the end of the year. I kind of my first British Open, I kind of tweaked my back and I just wasn't really the same the rest of that summer. And so my year kind of ended sourly. I didn't play the golf that I wanted to coming down the stretch. I played really poorly at Memphis, like one of my worst events of the year, and playoff points are 4 times the points. So like I dropped from like 23 to 35 going into BMW and like just missed out on the tour championship. And so it was a really sour end to my year because I didn't make the tour championship. I was on the outside looking into the Ryder Cup, and that was like, I was like, man, I hate this feeling. Like usually I end the year and I feel pretty good about my year, and I had a really good year that year. It just ended not how I was hoping. And so it was motivating. I mean, it sucked, but it was very motivating. And I didn't have my best year last year, I would say, either, but I fought through a lot. I felt like I scratched and clawed and made a lot of cuts on the number by one and found something on a weekend round, and finished 15th or 20th, which I'm proud of. My ability to kind of, play with what I've got, even though my game doesn't feel sharp, and still, manage my game and post, a decent score. That's something that I take pride in a lot. But those things are definitely on my mind. I think I got to focus on the little things about me trying to get better, putting the work in, the little, nitty gritty details, the stuff in the gym, the small details, that those small details matter. It's, it's such a fine margin in our game. Like I mentioned, like my strokes gained approach, like, minus 0.1 to positive 0.1 doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's a big deal. So, and so those little details matter. So I think just, I've always enjoyed trying to get better. Like it's even like little things, whether I'm like, I have a dartboard in my backyard and I I like just like little things like that. Like I just, that's kind of like the competitor in me. I'm always trying to find ways to get better. So, I think as long as I focus on trying to get better, and do the things that I want to accomplish, I think, I think I can have a good chance to be on some of those teams. That stuff will come. I just got to focus on trying to get better.
Where apparently being a good putter helps. So
It's tough. I watch it, and I'm watching them make everything, and us struggle to make putts.
And you're like,
so
hi,
it's tough.
I gotta help.
I'm like, I know a good putter.
Yeah.
Pick me.
Yeah. Denny, speaking of people trying to get better, I know our listeners are probably loving this episode. You've dropped a lot of little nuggets that I'm sure they're writing down, but let's try to help them out a little bit more. You've seen every type of grass and speed. If you had to teach a mid-handicapper one thing about reading grain, what would you tell them?
Reading grain, yeah, I think it's easier to tell down here in Florida. Typically if into the grain is dark and down grain is shiny. But usually maybe play your rounds later in the day because the grain rips the cup, and that's easier to tell. When they're freshly cut in the morning, it's hard to see what the grain's doing. But yeah, usually there's an edge on the hole that the grass is kind of worn out, and that will definitely influence a putt. And sometimes there's a couple of courses down here in Florida that are weird. And sometimes like a putt will break right to left. I'm trying to get my hand. A putt will break right to left, but the grain's going the opposite way, which is very strange. Usually, if the putt's going right to left and it's uphill, usually the grain will go with the slope and it'll make that putt break more. But sometimes that right to lefter, and you see, the grain on the cup going the other way, it'll make that right to lefter not want to break that much. So it's very interesting. I get speed questions. I do clinics and putting lessons with my sponsors and some charity like auction putting lessons that I've auctioned off, and people always ask me about like speed, and I'm like, man, I knew you were going to ask that question. I
tried not to ask the
it's a hard question to it's a hard question to answer, because it's like, I don't have a set like, oh, for a 20 footer on this speed degree and I take it back to here. Like I don't do that. You feel it. Like I almost like pick a point where I like to pick something that stands out in my putt. So typically it's a ball mark or a discoloration or a speck of sand. And if it's that stuff that's like, if it's not a ball mark that's a huge ball mark, or it's not something that's going to disrupt my ball if I hit it, like I'll leave it there. I leave it there as like a mark to like use to aim at. And my instincts typically help me out. My instincts are really good on the greens, which is why I think I putt well. I read the greens well, and I trust my instincts. But like if I aim too high of that spot, that's going to make me want to hit it too soft. And if I aim too low of that spot, or if I'm aimed too low, it makes me want to think I need to hit it harder. So like I joke that I try and find the baby bear, the just right spot. Like this feels just right. Like
that's too big, too small.
Yeah, exactly. This porridge is too hot. This one's too cold. Oh, this one feels just right. So I try and I let my setup and like how I'm aimed. Like sometimes you can just play around with it. Like you pick a random putt, and I'm like, okay, let's aim too high. Yeah, that feels like I need to aim. Or it feels like I need to hit that too soft, or I'm gonna need to push it too low. It feels like I need to hit it too hard or pull it. And like, oh, okay, this feels right to me. Like I don't need to manipulate anything. I can just kind of hit it, and like that's how I kind of pick, like how I determine speed is like if I'm lined up too far one way or the other, like my instincts tell me like, no, this doesn't feel right. Like I need to aim farther this way or this way. Okay, this feels right. I know it's not, I don't know if the viewers are going to get a great feel off of that, but
or just be jealous that you
sometimes like I just get on the green. This is something I've done a couple times lately. Like sometimes I like to just like roll balls. It's you're not hitting them. You can putt them like one.
Wait, is it off the like the
well, you
like...
can do the perfect putter. Like the perfect putter, I set up some drills, some chalk lines on perfect putter, and me visually standing behind the perfect putter, which is why I used to have my caddy set up my perfect putter lines, but I actually like to do it myself, because then I can see okay, this is how I see this putt. I'm going to set up the perfect putter ramp here and roll it down. And I can see, because I'm rolling it down and I see how the ball is rolling right in front of me. I can see how I did, like basically setting up the perfect putter and like what the ball is actually doing. Like, okay, I see this. Now let me roll it and see what it actually does. Like, okay, yeah, that matched up with what I see.
Interesting.
That matched up with what I see. And so lately I've done a couple clinics or lessons lately where I actually just tell people to like start rolling the ball, like to like, okay, that whole 30 feet away, just roll the ball and like see what it does. What do you see this putt doing? Now roll the ball and try and like mimic that. And then you can see like, okay, how fast is the green? How's that ball rolling? How much is it breaking? Like you can just like go around the green. It's kind of fun. I mean, most people roll it too hard. Like you don't like most people come out and it comes out like firing. And so you don't need to roll it that hard. It just gives you like a little bit of like touch and feel, little instinct of like, okay, just like roll the ball here. I, I just this just popped into my head. So I work with Dr. Bob Rotella. He's a world renowned sports psychologist, and I talk to him all the time on the phone. He's the best. He's the greatest. And I've visited him a handful of times also, and he was a great tool, great asset when I was at UVA. We would visit him as a team at least a couple times a semester, and I would go over there every now and then. But I've probably been to see him 2 or 3 times over the last 5 or 6 years. And one time I just told him like, Doc, I'm just too much in my head. I'm like doing this, and we're like on the putting green. We're just talking, and he was just like, well, just toss me your keys. And I tossed him my keys. He was like, where'd you put your elbow? Where'd you put your elbow? I'm like, he's like, how'd you know how hard to throw it to me? And I'm like, I don't know. It just seemed like the proper weight and like proper, like I didn't even think about anything.
Right.
Like I just tossed him my keys perfectly. Like, I didn't gun it at him. I didn't throw it way up in the air. I just gave him like a nice, 10 feet, like 5 feet away, whatever it was. I just gave him a nice soft toss, like, right. And he's like, exactly. Like and he's giving me an example of like, driving, like you're on the road, you're on 95, you're driving, you're on the phone, you're talking to people or whatever, for like you have a 20-minute drive, and all of a sudden you just show up at your destination basically. Well, like, well, how'd you do that? Like, what how'd you know how to drive? Like you didn't even think about it, you know what I mean? Like it was just all like instinct, like totally subconscious, like not even thinking about it. And so if that's how I try and tell people that like are struggling with their putting or ask me questions, it's like it's hard, but I'm like, just trust your instinct. Like just trust your instinct.
Be an
Don't
athlete.
yeah, exactly. Be an athlete. Like my stroke's not perfect. Yes, it's in a good spot to return the face like square most times, but I could take it back 25 different ways. But as long as I get the ball started at my spot that I've picked, that's all that matters. So like I don't care how my stroke looks. Like it's all about the picture I've created, and like how well do I commit to that. And
That's
like
awesome.
how like I just try and get into your own little world as much as possible. Doesn't matter how it looks, doesn't matter how people think it looks. Like all that matters is what you're doing in your own little world. So
Love that.
I try and get into that as much as I can. That's when I play my best golf. And when I'm not doing that is when I'm struggling to, I'm like, what? And then I need to catch myself. Like, what am I doing? This isn't me.
What have you learned from your playing partner in the Grant Thornton, Nelly Corda?
That's a good one there.
She's really good at golf. She's really good at golf. I had the pleasure of playing with her in 2022, before it became co-ed. So it was just her and Lexi playing that year, and I was paired with Nelly, and she had to play the back tees with us. And I want to say we shot like 29 or 30 under for the week, and
Damn.
34 under one, and
She played from the tips.
Yeah, and she played from the tips. We had a chance to win. We both played great. She was spectacular. I knew she was going to stripe it. Like she was the best player in the world. She still is. Like to me, like I've seen the other girls play, and like they're very talented. They're very good, but she stripes it. It's the little stuff like around the greens. Her wedge game, her short game's very tidy. We played Tiburon. The greens are fast. A lot of them are raised up. You get some tight, like nasty into the green chips, and like her touch and feel and how she uses her wedges and how she hits some of these shots. I'm very impressed with. I even kind of have taken some of what she does and implemented it into my short game, because I think she does a really good job on just technique and how she hits some of those shots, bumping through the fringe, reading the lie properly, judging, okay, like this isn't I can't just flick this 60 degree on the green. It's kind of a gross lie. I kind of need to bump this through the fringe. So she's great to play with. Her caddy Jason is awesome. Jason McDeed. My caddy and her caddy, and a couple other caddies got an Airbnb for the week a couple weeks ago. And like, it was like a caddy. I joked it was like the caddy frat house. So they're so easy to get along with. I just have so much fun playing with her and spending time with her and Jason. We I wouldn't say we played our best. We weren't extremely sharp. We still played solid, and still had a chance to win. But I don't know. Maybe next year, if she'll have me back as a partner, maybe we'll get a little redemption next year.
I love it. Well, Denny, I do have a rapid fire for you, but before that, I was just looking at my phone real quick, and I was like, wait, if I'm hoping it's not too controversial. If it is, you can say, let's get into the rapid fire. But just looking at the landscape right now, Brooks just left Liv, and we have Rory on record saying we should basically open the gates, no penalties, saying they've paid their consequence and reputation. But then you look at guys who are doing, Liv Q school this upcoming week, they're going to get hit with a 1-year ban. As someone like yourself and these other guys who've stayed with the tour, competed, you built your career the traditional way. Like, do you share similar thoughts to Rory, or are you taking a different stance?
I don't know. I mean, you could you might be able to ask Rory again in a week, and he might have a different opinion. So I don't know. It's something that I've never I truly I don't care. I really don't. I've always like I said, I've just tried to play good golf as good as I can, and that gets rewarded, and that's worked for me pretty well over the last couple years. And Liv's just always been I've never had a thought about it. It's a very I've benefited from it. So I staying on the PGA Tour, our purses have gone up. We play for a lot of money. I've benefited from this signature elevated event schedule, finishing in the top 50 and being able to play all these great events that everyone wants to be in. So I've kind of just during this whole time, I've just kind of quietly put my head down and tried to get better and continue working to improve my game. It is a very interesting, weird time in golf. I think, those top, call it 3 to 5 names from Liv coming back to the PGA Tour. I think they would probably make our product better right away. I think it seems like the tour is going for, they're in the business of trying to make money now, right? I mean, they're going to try and get rid of things that haven't made money, and they want to make money with, SSG's investment. It's very interesting, but, guys like a Brooks or a Bryson, or, call it, John Rahm, Joaquin Niemann, could maybe, toss another name or two in there. But if those guys wanted to come back right away, I think the tour, I don't know if they should. They probably should or could or would, but I would think they would if they want their product and their viewership to go up. Those guys would only make our product better. And I think there's a lot of people that would be on board with, I just want to play against the best players in the world, and I'm in that same boat. I want to be, see how my game stacks up against all the best players, not just 95% of the best players. I want to see what everyone can do. So, I mean, I guess I do have some opinions on it, but I don't.
I appreciate you answering it.
I tried to give you as much as I could without at the same time, that'd be great. If that.
So how will you feel if you see him on the range at Riviera?
I mean, I'd be fine. I was on a Walker Cup team and a World Amateur team with Bryson. So every time I see Bryson, I'm not.
It's not oh no, that's the guy.
I said, I talked to him for a minute. So it's not and I think Bryson's done amazing things for the game over the last couple of years.
100%.
It seems like he's become obviously very popular. He's got a huge YouTube golf following, and the fans seem to be on board with that, and they seem to really buy into what the energy that he's bringing. So
he's an entertainer.
He is. He really is. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. So the late nights on the range at the majors and stuff, he loves golf. He loves trying to get better. He loves that they're watching him hit balls and the cameras are on him at 8:30 at night. He's a showman. I mean, he's a showman
for sure. All right, we'll get into this rapid fire real quick,
okay.
And then we'll go from there. You ready?
I'm ready. I think.
All right. Best putter you've ever seen in person, not named yourself.
I'm gonna go with my buddy JT Poston.
One course that instantly gives you confidence when you pull in.
That's a good question. Quail Hollow.
Hardest putt on tour right now.
Hardest putt on tour. Hardest putt on tour. Front. We're gonna count the Masters in there. Front of the green on number 5 to the pin that's right on top of the knob. It's insane. You want to miss it long. You want to miss it long. You don't want to hit it on the front of the green. You'd rather hit it in the back bunker to that pin. Sorry, that's not really rapid fire.
No,
That's
it's
just
good.
It's
good.
It's a little course acknowledgement.
Masters, you could just elaborate.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. If we put a 30-foot putt in front of you and a 15-foot jump shot in front of you, which are you more nervous about missing?
The 30-footer. I'm making the 15-foot jump shot all day long.
You only have one club to play a full round with if you had to. Which is the club?
6-iron.
Best trash talker on tour.
That's a good question. Best trash talker on tour. I stay in a lot of houses with Sepp Straka. People wouldn't think he's a trash talker, but we're good buddies. I'm gonna say Sepp. There's probably better trash talkers, but Sepp really likes to try and give it to me for some reason. But I can take it. He little does he know that it fuels me. Actually, he knows by now that it fuels me.
I love it. Your never miss distance.
Never miss distance. 37 feet, somewhere in 37 feet. It's weird. Every time ShotLink says I have a 37 footer, like my caddy is taking note. Apparently I make 37 footers.
It's your lucky number. All right. After this, you're buying the first round. Are we doing a high-end Blanco? Are we going Repo? Are we going something else?
We're going Repo. Repo, maybe like a little splash of water or soda. I like to try and keep it pretty clean. I don't really drink a ton, but I'd say Repo when I am going to have a beverage. It's going to be some Repo.
If the PGA Tour did an MLB style walk up for the first tee, what would your song be?
Oh man, I share a Spotify with my wife. Whatever's in my mind. It changes weekly. I get on a song, I abuse that song for a week, and then I'm on to a new song. So I'm not going to give you an answer on. It's just whatever the song.
Whatever Sam has queued up.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
All right, 2 more. Fastest greens you've ever faced.
Fastest greens I've ever faced. It's actually not on tour. It was a pro member I played in September at Shooting Star in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Wow.
Place is phenomenal. Jackson Hole is like my favorite place these days, and this place, Shooting Star, is incredible. And these greens were, just you couldn't keep. It was insane, insane how fast they were.
A bunch of our listeners putting it on their list. All right,
yeah,
and last one.
It's amazing.
One course you'd play if you could only play one more round.
I think I'm gonna say, we're gonna go 1A and 1B here.
We'll allow
it. Please allow it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's been like 15 years since I've played Pine Valley. I'm gonna say Pine Valley as 1A, and then Argyle Country Club, my home course in Maryland. Maybe I'll flip flop that. I'll go Argyle 1A and Pine Valley 1B.
I like
All right.
it.
Well, PV is a perfect segue into my last question because I never skip this one. I always have to ask it.
Okay.
You've played a lot of great golf courses. What is the best course in the Philly area? We do include PV. We claim it, that you've ever teed it up at.
In the Philly area.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I played it more recently. I'm gonna say Pine Valley. I'm gonna say Pine Valley because I haven't really played a ton of golf in that area, which is a shame.
15 years ago, that's when you were able to.
I want to say it was the summer after my first year at UVA.
Okay.
So that would have been 2012, 14 years ago,
Wow.
13 and a half years ago.
Gotta get you back.
I gotta get back. It's tough to do it around like the PGA. I know I'm gonna be in that area. It's tough to.
It will look exactly the same.
I know. I'm gonna get there.
It's timeless.
I'm gonna add a 1C actually, and I think I'm playing it this year. But Cypress Point, I'm adding a 1C. Wait, please allow it.
We'll allow it.
Yes,
We'll allow it.
yes.
I've been offered to play Pine Valley, a handful of times, haven't been able to do it. Same thing with Cypress, but I've actually never played Cypress. I've been offered probably half a dozen times to play Cypress, and I've always turned it down. And then I watched the Walker Cup at Cypress. I'm like, that's it. I gotta go. I gotta play this place. I have to play this place. So I think I'm gonna hang out. I'm not playing Waste Management this year, and I think I'm going to hang out on the West Coast. And before Pebble play, I'm going to play Cypress.
Awesome.
Maybe we fly out to watch you play Pebble, because I left and came back to watch you that final round.
I love that Pebble tournament. I love that area. I think it's a tournament where like I played it my first year, maybe my second year, and then I took it off for a few years. And then like when I started playing it again, I'm like, why did I take this place off? So like it's been a staple. My wife and I have gotten an Airbnb there the last like 3 or 4 years. We bring our dog. It's always been just a really fun week. So always love it.
And you play well, which always makes it great.
I do.
So.
I like Pebble a lot. I mean, well, you might not allow a 1D, but if I'm gonna play Cypress, might as well.
I'm gonna pour a glass of wine. It's gonna be like, 1J.
Yeah. I might, if I'm gonna play Cypress down the road, might as well throw Pebble as 1D.
Right. I'd love to hear that. Someone who gets to play all the time, still having this much joy for playing golf courses. That's awesome to hear. Well, listen, we appreciate it. You're very generous with your time. Thank you for joining us. One last thing though, who do you think our next guest should be?
And
why is it Nelly Corda? No, I'm just kidding.
She would probably do it. She would be great. Joel Damon is always great. I'm good buddies with Joel. I don't know if you've had him on or not.
Text him, tell him let's go.
Joel's great at like stuff like this. You guys can ask him about anything and he'll give you like a straight up honest, funny answer. And it like not even trying to be funny. He's just a funny guy. He's one of the most interesting men in the world. Like every time I'm around Joel, like it's just, I enjoy being around him. He's a beauty. So I would say if you're looking for a tour player, I would say Joel Damon.
Yeah, connect us. Tell him
let's do it.
Thanks so much,
Denny. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Good luck this year.
Yeah,
also,
best of luck
after
this
you
year,
get
man.
your first win this year, we're gonna have you come back on because we have a little bit of magic with that. Just so you know, we've had some success.
Right.
So
I'll come back on. You guys were great. I'd gladly talk to you all again, and I appreciate you having me on. It was a blast.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you, man. All right, let's take a quick break and we will be right back. All right, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. That was a blast talking to Denny McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Danielle, you introduced me to him on the putting green at Truist, and like he acted, like he knew me forever, just in that quick, brief interaction, just because I was with you. You could tell he's just such a down to earth,
regular dude.
I'd say he's like my favorite guy on tour. He's just so nice. He's good people. Obviously, great conversation. I hope listeners took a lot out of it.
Jump shot is pure too.
I was going to say, because I've been to his house and he has that court out back, and there's some rumors that he actually like beat some NBA players in either like a free throw contest or a horse contest, and like they had content
on his home court. I believe it.
Didn't put it out. Yeah. And so I was going to ask him a couple basketball questions, but we touched enough, and I didn't want to keep taking up his time. But we could have talked.
That's
to him
okay.
For 2 more
He's going to
hours.
win. He's going to win this year, and then he comes back on.
I'll save my questions. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was a nice ice cube you had in that drink. What do you got there?
You like that? Yeah. Well, our ice machine in our refrigerator broke. So now I got the ones, I got to make these, and they get the big whiskey,
Does it have your like initials on it? Like,
no, it's just a big cube, but it's a mocktail because I'm doing dry January.
Yeah, I'm doing dry January as well.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I've adhered to it.
This is grape juice.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Okay. Well, good.
Is it gonna last? Because there's some celebrating coming up in your life too. There's not going to be a celebratory toast.
Well, it'll be with a non-alcoholic beer.
Okay, I appreciate the commitment.
I'm digging that too right now.
Put an umbrella in it, because where are you heading to, Harry?
Well, we're going to Florida. We're going to drive down to the new house next week, next Thursday.
He did it, everybody.
We'll be down there for 8 to 10 days to set it up. and then I'll be coming back down in February and coming over to see you guys.
Yeah, we got to pick that weekend. We got to
let me know when that is, because I'll plan my other thing right around that. So
okay, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. But all right, congrats, Harry.
We're getting the band back together.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm hoping to be following you down 95 one of these years, but I'm a little ways behind you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm off I-75. Danielle's off 95.
All right.
He's on the golf. I'm on the
both sides. We got it covered.
Yep.
I love
coast
it.
to coast, baby.
Usually when I go to Florida, I'm right down the middle.
Orlando.
Exactly. Yeah. But we'll veer off. But congrats, Harry. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Very, very happy to hear that. Danielle, start us off with some tea and let's see where it takes us, because there's some interesting stories.
Yeah, it's tough because we haven't, it was the first time, our first show from 2026. So I'm like, is some of this old news, some of it new news, but let's just blend it all together and we'll go from there. Let's start off with the Akshay Bhatia snub. Akshay officially says no thanks to a massive live offer. He's staying put on the PGA Tour. But the real tea, guys, Jenna Sims, Brooke Koepka's wife, as we know that, she liked the post. So does she know something we don't? She just stirring the pot, or she just, And
then Akshay just signs with Jupiter Lynx as a reserve player for Tiger Woods' squad. So how about that? Like a double. I'm out on live and I'm doubling down with the PGA Tour players on TGL.
We have Rory saying also Brooks come over to TGL, and we'll get to that later. But I like how Denny said, Rory might change his mind.
Well, that's very true.
I think you both enjoyed that too.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I saw both your faces. Yeah. But sticking on the topic of TGL, Team Belgium, Thomas Dietrich is heading to live. He's joining Team 4 Aces to play alongside fellow Belgium Thomas Peter. So it looks like DJ finally got his A team together for 2026. But is it me, or is it just seemed like live might kind of be?
It's very underwhelming,
right?
Yeah. Nobody's gonna miss Thomas Dietrich on the tour.
And Brooks wanting to leave. I'm not over that. I want to know why. I'm not buying the whole I want to spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
No. I don't know.
And Bryson apparently is non-committal on an extension. Yeah.
And he did say if he didn't commit, he'd probably just be doing his own thing. He's probably making so much money on this YouTube golf.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And like Denny said, he's a showman. He's like, you got, dance for me, clown. He just wants to do whatever. So we'll see. But TGL Season 2, the scoreboard TGL is officially back. We're 2 matches in. The Tech League is heating up. The Atlanta Drive GC, which are the defending champs, started with a 6-4 win over New York. And then Boston Common got their first official win. They took down LA 7-5. So current standings, Boston and Atlanta at the top, tied.
Atlanta just won a little while ago, too. They won their match. Was that a replay or was that live?
That was there's only been 2 so far. Yeah,
it was.
Well, no, Atlanta started. Atlanta won over New York in the first opening of the season, and then Boston took down LA. So
maybe there was one tonight.
Yeah.
Really?
And then Tigers Jupiter Lynx will be making their debut soon. So we will see what's going on with that. But staying on that topic, we now have the WTGL. Just a few hours ago, the LPGA dropped a bombshell that WTGL is coming winter 2026-27, the high-tech stadium golf format, but for the girls or women.
Will it be at the same spot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were wondering what they were going to be doing with that venue.
Yeah,
and it's let's. So like I said, unless we're hosting Vienna's birthday party there, I don't know what they're doing in the off season with that huge facility. So Tiger and Rory's Tomorrow Sports are the power behind that. So Monday mornings, let's make them a little bit more interesting and see what the girls can do.
Very cool.
Atlanta beat the Bay tonight.
Oh, okay. I haven't paid attention to these first 3 matches because a couple of them, the first week they went up against football on Sunday. Yeah. I couldn't believe they started it that day.
On the
20th.
Yeah.
Why not start on a Tuesday?
After the tour's been talking about pushing it back after the Super Bowl and everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not paying attention. Yeah. They'll catch on. But still, big news for the women's TGL.
That's
kind of cool for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a little social media thing that I saw. I don't know if you guys saw this. This was, probably 10, 15 days ago, but the Kapalua conspiracy. So the PGA Tour canceled Kapalua due to a drought and canceled it fairly early. But photos are coming out. People are playing it, showing the course is in terrific shape. It has been since late October, early November.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So was it really the water? Did the tour just lose their appetite for Maui? A couple people are calling them out on that. So.
It's kind of odd because that Century is a big sponsor of the PGA Tour and golf in general. I'm surprised they didn't find another venue for it, like even maybe in the continental United States, Las Vegas,
Right.
Scottsdale, whatever.
It didn't make sense.
Really strange.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. But guys, we kept that short since we had a real long intro with Denny. But that's the tea, brought to you by Wear SPF. Listen, the winter clouds can be deceiving, but the sun doesn't take a day off just because it's January. Whether you're grinding on the range, out at the stadium, just taking a winter walk, you need professional grade protection. Wear SPF is dermatologist tested, sweat resistant, and designed by a guy who spends his life under the sun. So protect your skin this season and every season. Grab yours at wearspf.com. That's wearspf.com.
Yeah, I see a message up here from our producer, Mike Powers. Sell your vodka stocks now, because if I officially quit vodka, it's over. Cash out now.
Tito's just dropped. Yeah. But guys,
that's going to hurt the outing next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he said dry November. He didn't say dry 2026, guys. Relax.
1 month at a time.
Yeah. Well, since there's no PGA Tour event this week, Sony starts next week. Let's quick talk about the first event of the Korn Ferry Tour. They officially kick off this Sunday. It's that, it always throws me off at the start. Right? Yeah, every year. It's so strange to me, but then I remember, I'm like, oh, okay. So they kick off this Sunday in the Bahamas Golf Classic at Atlantis Ocean Club. But keep an eye out on Hank Lebioda. He's the defending champ, and he's looking to get back on the big tour. So keep your eye out on him. But talking about, predictions, just looking at 2026, I figured I'd ask you guys, clean slate for 2026. Give me your big winners for the big four: Masters, PGA Championship, US Open, the Open. Any numbers we want to, any guys we want to throw out there? Any guesses?
I think Scotty Scheffler wins 2 majors this year.
2 again?
I think he wins the Masters.
Okay. I was going to say, is it finally Rory,
I'm not sure on the other one, but I think Scotty was the player of the year last year, and he had a late start with that injury and came into form late. I think he's going to just be ridiculous this year. I think this is going to be like nothing we've seen since the old Tiger days this year.
Wow. Well, Moose, shocker here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For all 4 of them, let's see. We'll start with
BetParx odds here. What do you got?
Scotty Scheffler plus 300. Like it's Scotty.
Yeah, he's got to be 300 for all of them.
I'll take a flyer on the Masters. Justin Rose, who finished runner-up this past year. I think he's going to win one. I'll go with Justin Rose.
I like it.
Who do you think hoists the trophy at Aronimink?
I was just thinking now.
I'm going to go Cameron Young.
Cam Young. Why
I like
not?
that. A little northeast golf has some similarities to the newer courses. I actually like Cameron Young, Harry, there.
I'll take a long shot there. I'm going to say Fleetwood gets it done in one of these 2.
Wow.
Maybe the Open? You think he could win
Birkdale.
the Open?
It's home area, isn't it? That would be.
You think Rory wins a major?
Story.
Boy,
you think Rory gets a major this year?
Could Rory get shut out, or can he win at Shinnecock? That to me is the Grand Slam for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah,
he wins the U.S. Open at Shinnecock and gets the Grand Slam.
I could see Cameron Young winning at Shinnecock.
I could too.
Oh, yeah,
I could too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Time will tell, boys.
Yeah, where's Denny McCarthy winning? He's got to get this done and get it done early.
He does. Yeah. Rooting for him.
Maybe when he's out in California,
Torrey Pines or something.
I think he finished. Well, it might have been 23. We literally had left already, and then we were doing like the long drive around and looking at the scoreboard. I'm like, Denny might win this. I'm like, turn around now. I'm like, let's go back. Yeah, we were doing 17-mile drive, and I'm like, okay, I don't even care for mile 16. I'm like, go 17 miles back. I'm like, we need to watch him play. Like, let's get back there. We came out, we were watching because he went on just like. That was another question I wanted to ask him. Like when he goes on that heater, like that birdie streak, and it's just like, how is the hole this big for you? Like, what is going on? Like, what are you?
Playoff loss to Akshay. He birdied the final 7 holes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Valero.
Yeah. So when he's on, man, he's
on. Yeah, the Valero Texas Open. It was just like 7 in a row or something like that. The final round. It's insane. So like when he's on that birdie run, it's like, what do you actually feel? Is it just
the wind is always blowing there too.
Have you played the new home course yet?
No, that'll be next week.
What's the new home course?
River Hall, down in Florida.
Yeah,
that'll be next week.
Love it.
Very curious to get a course review of the new home here. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I did the PGA Superstore had that deal, the VIP, $299 a year. You get unlimited use of the
simulators.
Yeah, and they're massive. TrackMan technology.
Right.
You can go on and schedule it like on their website. A little clunky to get through that. They should fix that a little bit. But you know, you have to, just like any other, you have to kind of reserve out in advance because there's only 8 of them and they fill up. But I'm going there again tomorrow night and I have it scheduled for Saturday. So this will be like 3 times since I've signed up. And if not, it's $30 a shot. So I mean, it's a great deal if anyone's looking for a place to work in the game. So yeah.
Well, I'll be coming over to see Siraki at your spot on Friday, and then I'll be at the Penn Club for probably 2 hours after that.
Nice.
Indoors. I returned to my lessons on Friday as well. I took a little break off for the holidays, and back to the normally scheduled program.
All right, beautiful. All right, I'm hoping everyone else is out there working on the game, or just be like Denny, enjoy the time off and just come out and be great. You know, it's no big deal.
Must be nice to just put the clubs away for a little while and just go back.
Be selective about what tournaments you're playing.
Drain a 37-foot putt, no big deal.
Your range 37 in my life.
It's like 3 point. It's like Steph Curry in the gym range, right?
Literally. That's so funny. He knew that number too. He's so dialed with his stats, with everything, and just not the game I play.
Thank you for lining that up, Danielle.
Yeah, great.
Appreciate it. It's a great guest to have on to kick off the new year for Swing It and Ding It. So looking for some exciting stuff this year. More to come. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back next week.
Awesome.